I think we're called to bring hope to others because Christ brought hope to us.
As Christians, it's important that we bring hope to people's lives.
I think we have a responsibility to bring hope to this world, because I think a world without hope doesn't make sense.
Of course, Christians have a great responsibility and privilege to bring not just hope, but to live that hope out so that people's lives can be changed and would have meaning and purpose in this world.
We have a responsibility to bring hope to others because there's such a lack of hope in our society today. And thus, Jesus gives us that responsibility to let others know that there's more than what they are experiencing today, that there is an eternal hope and that it can be found in Jesus.
I was living on the streets. We've been living on the streets for 11 years, touring around different parts of the country. When I bumped into Rowley in Bedford, he said there was like handouts at Prebend Street and everywhere else. And plus the Salvation Army do a meal on a Sunday in the afternoon at 4 o'clock. It was nice to have my first meal for a very long time. Of course, I was always used to eating sandwiches on the street and the odd bit of soup now and then and the tea. But it was really nice to have a nice meal and sit down to talk to people as well. People who cared, literally gave me the time and the space so I could actually progress in my life. I actually did lose my faith as well as hope. I didn't want to carry on at one stage in my life, because at one time I used to drink a lot, but they helped me through it and I eventually quit. And I actually went down to the mercy seat and gave my life to the Lord. Yes, I hope now I'm actually a volunteer for the Salvation Army. I've actually progressed that much in my life. I've felt stronger, finding my religion as well again. And now I can reverse the table by helping others where I used to be. My life is absolutely brilliant these days. I'm married, well happy. I'm coming up to my 4th wedding anniversary next year. And I'm glad to be alive again. And plus I've got Jesus in my life as well.
Attitudes towards the poor and disadvantaged vary. In some countries, those in need are openly despised. They're regarded as an embarrassment. People look down on them and enjoy feeling superior. They blame the poor for being poor and seem to feel no sense of obligation to help them. In such places and circumstances, the poor have little or no hope. Some societies ensure they set aside part of their national budget to support those who wouldn't survive or manage without help. To a greater and lesser extent, the disadvantaged are remembered, bringing a measure of hope to many. There are, of course, those who create publicity for themselves as they perform their good works. But God knows their motives and is not fooled. Proverbs 14:31 gives the divine perspective. If you oppress poor people, you insult the God who made them. But kindness shown to the poor is an act of worship. At work in more than 125 countries, the Salvation Army experiences a variety of attitudes towards those in need, from genuine compassion to wholesale corruption. The Army has had to learn how to operate according to the situation in which it finds itself, without compromising its mission. Sometimes it has needed to educate those who became Christians into a thought pattern of caring. They have previously known only self-interest and lived with corruption as their accepted culture. In such circumstances, conversions to a genuine Christian lifestyle necessarily takes time. The Army was born to bring hope. The compassion of early-day Salvationists gave the Army a caring identity from the beginning. Today, its supportive social programs around the world not only testify to its own hopes to do God's will, but also, on a daily basis, consistently bring hope to those who have no hope. The task, however, can seem overwhelming. To add strength and depth to the Army's ministry, in 2008 its International Social Justice Commission was opened. Often linking with and through the United Nations and a host of other non-governmental organisations, it works for people everywhere to help them access education, health services, employment, shelter, food, and social support. It works to protect people and speak for those with no voice. It has an essential advocacy role for bringing justice and hope into hopeless situations. In 2005, in Sydney, Australia, a local Salvation Army corps opened its own advocacy service. It found itself in such demand that by 2010, the territory launched Salvos Legal, using 2 full-time commercial and humanitarian law firms. The stories both of transformed situations and transformed lives are inspiring. Yet advocacy isn't the business of organizations only. In every society, people with no voice, no prospects and no hope long for an advocate, someone to come alongside them, to give support and bring hope. Without those who are prepared to make this their business, needless misery will continue. We are each meant to be hope bringers. Bring hope. It could transform your life too.